My wife handed me a laminated rate sheet for cooking dinner, and I sent her an invoice for rent. Now her TikTok followers are calling me financially abusive. I'm a high school history teacher. My wife Mara used to be a therapist, but about 8 months ago she pivoted to being an online coach. She calls it women's financial boundaries, and honestly, I supported it. She said she was burned out from community mental health work, needed something with more flexibility. Made sense to me. For context, I've always covered most of our expenses, not because she couldn't work, but because I made more, and it felt fair. I pay about 70 to 80% of our bills. Rent, internet, utilities, her car payment, insurance. She works maybe 20 hours a week now, building her brand. I never complained. Marriage isn't a spreadsheet, right? Last Tuesday changed everything. I came home from grading essays about the progressive era to find the dining table set beautifully. Candles, cloth napkins, the whole thing. Mara had made this incredible salmon dish with roasted vegetables and some kind of honey glaze that smelled amazing. She had her phone propped up on the counter against the coffee maker, filming. The ring light was on, that harsh white glow she uses for her videos. I figured it was just content, nothing unusual. She's always filming something. Her following had grown to about 40,000 by then. We sat down, and before I could even take a bite, she slid a laminated card across the table. I thought it was a joke at first. Maybe a cute anniversary thing, even though our anniversary isn't until June. It was a rate sheet, professionally designed, with little icons next to each item. Dinner preparation and service, $30. Bathroom deep clean, $60. Laundry folding and sorting, $40. Emotional support per hour, $80. There were maybe 15 items total. She smiled and said, "I'd like you to Venmo me for tonight's dinner before we eat." I laughed, waited for the punchline. There wasn't one. "Babe, this is a joke, right?" "No, Jude. I've been thinking about this for weeks. My labor has value. Just because we're married doesn't mean my work is free." I sat there, fork in hand, completely frozen. She kept the phone recording. Told me she was creating a series about unpaid domestic labor and this was episode 1. I paid the $30. Ate in silence while she explained her new philosophy about women's invisible labor and financial equity. After dinner, I went to our home office and spent 2 hours building my own spreadsheet. The next morning, I handed her my invoice, half of our market rate rent, because we split the apartment 50-50, half the utilities, 100% of her car payment, since her name is the only one on the title, 100% of her car insurance, all the streaming subscriptions she uses daily that I pay for, internet, because she uses it for her business. It came to about $1,800 per month. I handed it to her with coffee and said, "If we're turning marriage into a business, then business goes both ways." She stared at it, then at me. Then she started crying, saying I was being cruel, that I was punishing her for speaking up about fairness. I told her I wasn't punishing anyone. I said we could do 3 things instead. We could go to couples therapy. We could hire a cleaning service so nobody feels resentful. Or she could stop making content about our marriage without my consent. I even offered to split the cost of a cleaner, said we could try it for 3 months and see if it helped. She said no to all 3. Told me her audience needs this honesty, that she was building something important, that I wouldn't understand because I still thought traditionally about marriage. I asked her when she'd be willing to talk about us off camera. She said she'd think about it. She never did. That afternoon, she posted a video. I'm blurred in the background, but you can hear my voice. The caption says, "When you ask your husband to value your work, and he sends you a bill instead." It has 4 million views now. Parents from my school have started emailing the administration. Students whisper when I walk by. My principal called me in yesterday, not to discipline me, but to warn me that my personal life is becoming a professional concern. I don't know what I expected when I married someone, but it wasn't this. It wasn't performing our problems for strangers. It wasn't being cast as the villain in someone else's narrative. Am I wrong here? Should I have just paid the rate sheet and moved on? Or is it fair to say that if she wants to bill me, I can bill her too? I just wanted a partner. Now I feel like I'm a character in a show I never auditioned for. Update 1. So, Mara's video didn't just go viral, it went thermonuclear. 8 million views as of this morning. She's been on 2 podcasts, a lifestyle blog called Her a Voice for Modern Women. My face is blurred, but people figured out who I am within 48 hours. Someone found my school's website. Another person found our wedding registry from 6 years ago and posted screenshots. I got called into the principal's office again on Thursday. No formal discipline, but he was clear. Parents are concerned. Not a lot, but enough that the school board is aware. One mother sent an email claiming I'm financially abusive and shouldn't be around teenage girls. I had to sit there, in the same office where I've worked for 9 years, and defend my marriage to my boss. He was kind about it, said he believed me, but he also said I need to protect my reputation because the court of public opinion doesn't care about nuance. I thought Mara would see the damage and pump the brakes. I was wrong. Her mom Linda called me Friday night. Didn't even say hello, just launched in. Told me a real man provides for his wife. That I should be grateful Mara stayed home and made our house a home. I tried to explain that Mara doesn't stay home. She works online, and that I've been covering most of our bills for years without complaint. Linda cut me off. That's what husbands do, Jude. You don't get a medal for basic decency. I asked her why it's basic decency for me to pay for everything but empowerment when Mara charges me for cooking. She hung up. Mara's dad Frank texted me separately. Just said, I don't know what the hell is happening, but this internet stuff is poison. Sorry, man. I appreciated that more than he knows. Here's where it gets worse. Sunday morning, I woke up early and couldn't fall back asleep. Mara was still in bed. I went to the office to prep a lesson on the new deal, and her laptop was open on the desk. She'd been working on it the night before and hadn't closed it. I wasn't snooping. I swear I wasn't. But the screen was on a Notion page, and the title at the top said, Content Calendar, Marriage Series. The font was that clean sans serif she always uses. Purple headers. I sat down, read the whole thing. My hands were shaking. She'd been planning this for months. There were 10 episode titles, all drafted before our rate sheet fight even happened. Turning My Marriage into a Business, Episode 1, When He Fights Back, Episode 2, The Reckoning, Episode 8. Each one had a target date, expected views, emotional beats mapped out like a television show. There were notes about emotional beats, sponsorship goals, projected engagement rates. One line said, if Jay pushes back hard, pivot to financial abuse angle. Audience responds to victim narrative, Jay. That's me. I'm not even a name in her content strategy. I'm a variable. I took a picture of the screen with my phone. Didn't even think about it, just did it. When Mara woke up, I tried to talk to her. Really talk. I said we needed a 30-day break from filming anything about us. That we should see a therapist, just the 2 of us. No cameras, no content. She looked at me like I'd asked her to quit breathing. Jude, this story is bigger than you and me. Women need to see this. I'm not stopping because you're uncomfortable. I asked her if she planned the rate sheet fight. If she engineered it for content. She didn't deny it. Just said, I knew you'd react a certain way. I know you. That's what broke me. Not the rate sheet. Not the videos. That sentence. The fact that she calculated my response like I'm a lab rat in her experiment. I don't know who I'm married to anymore. There's the Mara I fell in love with. The woman who used to cry watching documentaries about elephants. And then there's this other version. The one who sees our life together as raw material for a brand. I asked her again about therapy. She said her audience wouldn't understand a pause. That the algorithm rewards consistency. I'm sleeping in the guest room now. She's filming a video right now in our bedroom, talking about men who withdraw emotional intimacy as punishment. I don't know what to do. I can't make her stop. I can't fix this with a conversation. And I'm starting to realize I'm not her husband anymore. I'm her content. Update 2. First, I need to address the comments saying I should just leave. You're right. I should have. But it's hard to explain how you can be paralyzed by the absurdity of your own life. I kept thinking it would get better. That Mara would wake up one day and realize what she's doing. I was wrong. 2 days after my last post, I opened a separate bank account, changed my direct deposit, sent Mara a formal email, not a text, laying out that I'd be paying 50% of rent and utilities going forward. She'd need to handle her car payment, insurance, and her own subscriptions. She read it while I was sitting right there. Didn't say a word to me. Just picked up her phone and recorded a video, tears streaming down her face, talking about what happens when women ask men to value their labor. The video was titled, "He's Punishing Me Now." 12 million views. Here's what I didn't see coming. A former colleague from her old therapy job reached out to me via Facebook. Woman named Sarah, who'd worked the intake desk, asked if I knew Mara signed a sponsorship deal, sent me a screenshot of an email chain she'd accidentally been CC'd on when someone was cleaning up old distribution lists. $15,000. A financial app company was paying Mara 15 grand to produce a 10-episode series about financial boundaries in marriage. The contract had deliverables. 3 episodes showing escalation. 1 confrontation episode, a resolution the audience could learn from, preferably involving their app. There were notes about authentic conflict and relatable struggle. She wasn't just monetizing our problems. She was being paid to create them. There was a timeline, a content schedule, performance metrics. I confronted her, printed the email, put it on the kitchen counter while she was making coffee. "Is this real?" She glanced at it, didn't even flinch. "Yes. And there's nothing wrong with getting paid for my work." "Your work? Mara, this is our marriage. It's my story too, Jude. I'm allowed to tell it. You're not telling it. You're scripting it. There's a difference." She left the room. The consequences kept compounding. Someone at school, I still don't know who, sent an anonymous letter to the school board claiming I was creating a hostile environment, that students didn't feel safe around someone accused of financial abuse. The board held a meeting. I had to bring bank statements, receipts, our lease agreement. Had to sit in front of 5 people I respect and defend myself against accusations that my wife helped create. They cleared me. Said there was no merit to the claims. But the superintendent pulled me aside after and said, "Jude, you're a good teacher, but you need to fix your personal life before it destroys your professional one." I went home that night and told Mara we needed a trial separation. Not divorce, not yet, just space. I'd moved to my sister Jenna's place for a month. We'd each pay our own bills. No filming each other. No content about the relationship. She panicked, genuinely panicked, started crying, saying I was abandoning her when she was finally finding her voice, that I was proving every critic right. I told her I loved her, that I'd always loved some version of her, but that I didn't know which version was real anymore. Her mom called me within an hour. Linda. Told me I was a coward, that Mara needed support, not punishment, that I should man up and let her process her pain publicly if that's what she needed. I hung up, didn't yell, didn't argue, just ended the call. I packed a bag that night. Mara filmed me doing it, posted it with the caption, "When standing up for yourself means watching someone leave." I'm at Jenna's now. She's been incredible. Doesn't say much, just makes extra coffee in the morning and leaves me alone when I need it. I saw Mara posted an Instagram story yesterday. Vague quotes about betrayal. One of her followers found Jenna's profile and sent her death threats for enabling an abuser. My sister, who's an ER nurse and spends her days saving lives, got called an abuse enabler because she gave her brother a couch to sleep on. I don't know what the end game is. Mara's not backing down. The content is her income now, her identity. And I'm realizing that somewhere along the way, I stopped being her partner and became her plot device. A few people asked if I still love her. Honestly, I don't know. I love who she was. I'm heartbroken over who she's becoming. But I'm also angry that she chose an audience over me, that she turned our private pain into public entertainment. I don't want revenge. I don't want to ruin her. I just want out of the story she's writing. My lawyer says if we divorce, it'll be clean. No spousal support likely, since she has income. Just split what we have and walk away. I never thought my marriage would end because my wife turned it into a business plan. But here we are, final update. So here's where things landed. Mara and I divorced about 14 months ago. It was quick, relatively clean. No spousal support. We split what little savings we had. She refinanced her car in her own name. I paid the lawyer fees. Nobody won. We just both got out. I'm doing better than I expected. Got promoted to department chair at my school last year, which came with a raise and better hours. Living in a smaller apartment now, just me. It's quiet. Sometimes too quiet, but mostly in a good way. I learned to cook actual meals. Nothing fancy. Just enough that I'm not eating takeout every night. Found a good recipe for roasted chicken. Started running again, early mornings before school. Small things, but they add up. My sister says I seem lighter. I think she's right. Mara moved to Seattle about 10 months ago. I only know because a mutual friend mentioned it. Her brand peaked during our separation, right when the conflict was hottest. But then the backlash came. People started digging into her old posts, found inconsistencies, accused her of manufacturing drama. Some of her sponsors dropped her. Last I heard, she's back to part-time therapy work, specializing in burnout recovery. There's irony in that, but I'm not petty enough to dwell on it. Here's the part that surprised me. About 2 months ago, someone sent me a link to a podcast interview Mara did. I almost didn't listen, but curiosity got the better of me. She talked about the rise and fall of her platform, admitted she leaned into the drama more than she should have, said the sponsorship money made it hard to step back, that she didn't get my consent for a lot of the content, and regrets how public it became. But she also framed herself as a victim of burnout, of an industry that rewards conflict. Didn't fully own what she did. Just acknowledged it was messy. I don't know if that counts as an apology. It's the closest I'll get. A few weeks ago, I was in Seattle for a teaching conference. Stopped at a coffee shop to grade essays between sessions. One of those places with exposed brick and overpriced lattes. I was halfway through a stack of papers about the Cold War when Mara walked in. We locked eyes. She looked different. Older, maybe. Tired. Her hair was shorter. She was wearing a green jacket I'd never seen before. She hesitated, then came over. Asked if she could sit down. We talked for maybe 20 minutes. It was painfully polite. She asked about school. I asked how Seattle was treating her. She said the rain was getting to her, but she liked her new therapist job. I told her about the department chair position. Neither of us brought up the divorce directly. She said, "I'm sorry it ended the way it did." I said, "Me too." We didn't rehash everything, didn't yell or cry, just acknowledged that we weren't good for each other under that kind of pressure. That social media magnified the worst parts of both of us. She left first, said it was good to see me. I believed her. I sat there for a while after, thinking about how strange it is that someone can be the center of your life, and then just become a person you used to know. I'm dating again, casually. Nothing serious. I'm careful now. If someone mentions they're a content creator or influencer, I politely move on. It's not fair, maybe, but I can't go through that again. I do workshops now at school about digital boundaries. Talk to students about the difference between sharing your life and performing it. Some of them get it, some don't. But I figure if I can help one kid think twice before turning their relationships into content, it's worth it. Someone asked me if I regret marrying Mara. I don't. We had good years, real years, before the cameras and the rate sheets and the performance of it all, but I don't regret leaving either. If there's anything I learned, it's this. If your partner tells you they feel unappreciated, listen. Really listen. Before they go looking for validation from strangers who don't know them and don't love them. But if they turn you into content, if they script your life for an audience, understand that the rules changed. You're not a partner anymore. You're material. In the end, I didn't lose a wife. I lost the version of her that only existed offline. And maybe she lost the version of me she could only see as a storyline. I'm okay with that now. We're both moving forward. Separately. Finally. And honestly, that's the best ending I could have hoped for.